Hi guys, it's Jane again with GI Baby Chronicles number 3. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing these every day, but I guess apparently that's my pace right now. So I wanted to sit here. This is actually where I sit a lot in front of the fireplace because I get cold. So anyway, okay, so a few things. 10 weeks yesterday. And I feel like it's like confession time here, but hey, I want to be honest about this whole process with you guys. And that's the whole point of why I'm even doing this. And secondly, by the way, if you do not want to watch any of this, I'm never in any way offended. Before I actually became pregnant, really didn't want to hear. I would have bypassed anything that said anything about pregnancy pretty much. Although I have done a lot of research on fitness and pregnancy. So anyway, that little ditty done. So this past week, hey, I'll admit it, you guys, I've let myself slip, okay? I've definitely just kind of mentally shifted into first of all, I'm tired, so I'm taking naps, which is okay. But a little more than is necessary. I will fully admit that. And secondly, I have absolutely eaten more food than I know that I should have. So even though I wasn't really hungry for more, I just mentally was like, I'll have a little bit more. That's okay. That's cool. And part of that, I made brownies for my husband with frosting, which I never do. But he's going to be going on some training, so I wanted to make it for him before he left. And then I proceeded to eat half of that pan of brownies over about probably a day and a half. So there's also that, confessions of a trainer. And so a few points that I want to make here. First of all, hey, I'm human. I screw up. I get it. It's real. But two things that I've kind of analyzed and just looked over with that is number one, first of all, for me, it's just knowing my limits. Brownies are not a safe thing in Jane world in my house, okay? And that's just a process of me knowing myself and my limits over the years, okay? I can have Oreos. I've had 2 things of Oreos in my lemon and reduced fat regular Oreos in my pantry for, like, I'm actually concerned they're going bad because they've been there for about 4 months. And so I'm okay with those. I can ration those. I had, 2 the other day. Like, I can absolutely ration those, no problem. But when it's brownies or cookies or cakes, those things open in my house are just really, they're not a good thing for me. And I share that with you guys on a regular basis because you have to know yourself and your limits, okay? We all have those things that we just are not really in control of as much as other things. And we can grow in our discipline levels, but it's knowing yourself and knowing what you're capable of saying yes and no to, and then living with that accordingly, okay? So, just I equate it sometimes to like an alcoholic, when they first become, no alcohol and go dry, they're probably not going to want to be around anybody that drinks anything at all. As time goes by, maybe they're okay with going to a friend's house and a friend has a glass of wine and they're okay with that. But that doesn't mean they're still at the point where they can walk into a sports bar and watch a sports game with everybody around them drinking. They may never get to that point. I don't know. We're all very, very different. And so I just share that pregnancy or not, that's something that I personally just know about myself and my levels of discipline and what I'm capable of handling. And that's just being very honest, okay? And I've grown in those things, definitely, by the way. I didn't eat the whole pan in a day, okay? I can't say I've quite ever done that, but I've come very close. So again, it's just kind of knowing yourself in those circumstances. But the second thing is I definitely made a mental shift in my mind that, hey, I'm tired, it's totally fine. So my activity level has been less. And then it's just those little bit increases in portions, not that I've eaten anything weird or abnormal, but I've just eaten too much and my activity level has decreased then when I'm taking naps. So I've missed like 1 extra workout this week. So just that kind of in conjunction over the week definitely makes me feel, I feel like I've gained a few pounds, and I know that I probably shouldn't have at this point at 10 weeks. That's not really needed. So, a few things happened today that helped me just kind of reset and reframe my mind. And it's all good, you guys. This is just a learning process. I haven't gained 20 pounds. I'm not mentally unstable. I know that this happens to anybody in any journey of life. I don't care if you're pregnant or not. This is just a normal thing with life that we eat too much 1 week or we let ourselves slip. And it's just kind of resetting your mindset and saying, okay, we're just going to get right back on and do the right thing. So I talked with a dear friend of mine. She's so sweet. She's a fitness professional. Out in New York, and a trainer, and she just recently, she's 6 months, she had a baby 6 months ago. He's 6 months now. And she was so sweet to have reached out to me. And first of all, again, thank you to everybody who reached out to me. It was so great to hear from people that just, heard my feelings and they felt the same way. And I know that pregnancy is such a personal thing and everybody feels things very differently. But it was really encouraging to me that I wasn't like the only one that was out there feeling that way. So thank you guys for reaching out to me. I truly do appreciate it. But we had a great conversation this morning and so much great feedback. And she just shared with me that, absolutely she had zero cravings. She did some of her max deadlifts during that time of being pregnant. That's because you have increased blood flow. So you actually can sometimes lift more because muscle needs blood flow. And when you have an increase in blood flow, you actually can gain more lean mass, which is pretty cool. She did it all very safely. Her baby was super healthy. She never had any cravings. She didn't have, just a lot of the stuff that they say that you have. She's like, Jane, I never had any of that. But that's because she has taken such amazing care of her body previously. She's just an amazing athlete as a trainer. And then she took care of it during, and then she's obviously taking care of it after. And that's everything, you guys. It's nutrition, it's sleep, it's hydration, it's supplementation, it's flexibility, it's training, it's all of those components. There's not just one. I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, just take this AdvoCare supplement. Hey, just do this workout routine. It's never about just one component, you guys. And same with pregnancy. It's never just one thing. Like, hey, if you only took more omegas, then X, Y, and Z would happen. No, you guys, it's the whole picture. It's the whole picture. It's putting it all together, putting high quality nutrition in not only your body, but in someone else's body that doesn't even have the ability to say what you should be putting in it. So am I gonna put donuts in all day to this little body that can't control what I'm putting in it? No, I wanna be putting high quality nutrition in it. And this makes me think of even parents feeding their children. I'm going to kind of ramble a little bit here, but I get very, 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 very upset at seeing obese little children. And I'm not talking about pudgy, okay? I was a pudgy little girl. Don't get me wrong. I was not like a skinny, tiny little child. But it makes me incredibly angry and incredibly sad when I see little children that are obese. They're not the ones that are buying those foods. They can't go to the grocery store and shop for themselves. And they are not the adults in the situations. And so I feel that same way about pregnancy, is that my child does not have the ability to say, hey, please don't feed me sugar and spike my insulin levels the whole time while I'm in here growing. Please feed me more vitamins to help my brain cells actually and my whole body work better, because that's what vitamins do to us, and minerals. They help our bodies actually work better and faster, okay, in the right amounts and everything, don't get me wrong. So I take it very seriously that this is actually not just my health, but it's also the health of my child. And so for me to be my healthiest, I'm actually gonna help my child be the healthiest, and not to really slip into that mentality that I can just eat a whole bunch of food and lay around and get lax in my workouts. My friend also shared with me that she never decreased her weights at all through her entire pregnancy. And again, I know everybody is different, don't get me wrong, but it was very cool to hear her perspective of it. She slowed her workouts down, but she did not actually reduce her weights at all, which was very cool. And definitely also just knowing that the heart rate thing is actually a complete fallacy. That's a myth now. You do not have to keep your heart rate between whatever it was, 120 and 150. That is actually incorrect nowadays. So, it's just being able to breathe and speak, and you'll feel if you're getting too overworked and you can't breathe. Obviously slow down, that's a problem, okay? But just it's really knowing, she really encouraged me just to say, hey, just keep being super healthy, doing the things that you know to be doing that have always worked for me as a trainer for 7+ years, as a professional, to know how to make my body the healthiest that it should be. And so that really encouraged me. And so today, if you saw my Instagram or my posting, I definitely pulled out my old food logs just from when I competed. And I'm not here to be kind of like a weird freak show, and I don't want to have preconceived notions and I want to keep X amount of body fat down or anything like that. But it just helps me to look back at what I did eat. I was taking in 188 grams of protein a day at 1,600 calories, I think around 40 grams of fat, and I forgot carbs, 160 or something. Look at my Instagram, you'll see it, the totals. But I was eating a lot of food. I ate chocolate every day, and I just can go back to those food logs and see what it was that I was eating and just kind of re-give myself a template, because emotions will mess with you, you guys. I don't care if you're pregnant or if you're not, your emotions will lie to you and they will mess with you, okay? And that's what my friend said. She goes, yeah, honestly, Jane, the craving things, maybe in some circumstances, some people might crave things if they're not taking in certain vitamins or minerals. And I went through that even just in weight training. When I first initially started gaining lean mass for my first contest, I lost 10% body fat and gained 10.5% muscle in 6 months. And I actually went through a period of time where I slept a truckload and I craved a ton of nuts and peanut butter. And it really was because my fats were too low and I was gaining so much lean mass that my body was exhausted because I was training so hard and I was a little low on fats. So I was craving something that my body was telling me, hey, you need more fats to help your metabolism and your body run faster and do more, which is what I was trying to do. Okay, so I listened to that. I did. I ate a lot of nuts. I blew through my fats for my diet plan, but I could feel that was what my body needed. And so I feel like a lot of cravings with pregnant women is a lot of times your body is craving something that you potentially need. If you're craving a lot of tuna, that was another friend of mine, her mom said she craved a ton of tuna. She probably needed more fish oils and more omegas in her system, and so your body does tell you those things. But if you're taking in all the vitamins and minerals that you need, not just to be at the daily value, which by the way, FYI, the vitamin C for your RDA, your recommended daily amounts is vitamin C is enough vitamin C to not have you get scurvy as a 150-pound woman, okay? So it's not saying, hey, this is how much vitamin C you should have in order to work at optimal levels of productivity and efficiency. And if you're an athlete and if you're trying to gain muscle and you're trying to be awesome. No, that's just so you don't get scurvy. Okay, so knowing that those daily limits, obviously look at things and there are certain things that you don't want to overdo, vitamins and things like that. But there are those other ones that hyperdoses of it can actually been proven to do really, really amazing things, like B vitamins. They can actually help slow down Alzheimer's or dementia. Hyperdoses of vitamin B can really help mental focus and really help retain brain health. So, just knowing those different things, okay? And then implementing that throughout your life. And, this pregnancy thing is really just a journey and I'm learning along the way, but that's why I'm doing this, is just not only to share with you guys, but also to remind myself if I ever do it again, or clients that go through this, just to remind myself of the process that I went through, because we tend to sometimes forget those things. So I hope this helps somebody out there. I know I do little ditties and I kind of, ramp and rage a little bit, but I'm really excited. I'm so grateful for good friends that are willing to share their honest truth of just what they went through, what they experienced, and it really encouraged me. And on that note, I'm off to do errands and to go to the gym. So have an amazing day. Thanks, guys.